Hi there, my name is Nicole Hebert with the Moose Jaw Journey to Hope team, and this is Voices of Hope.
So through a friend who his son had died by suicide, and it was just a conversation we were having, and she opening up to me in regards to her experience going through that and the struggles that come with suicide. And she was telling me about the walk, and I was just I hadn't even heard about it, and I'd lived in Moose Jaw for a number of years and been a part of this community and just knowing other people who've been affected by suicide. And I was driving home one day because I commute. So what do you have but time on your hands to think? And just decided that I needed to do something, and I wanted to support her and show her that she's not alone in this fight. And that's kind of where this row thing came up. I don't think I'd ever make this decision again if I had to. It's very hard, but I would do something. I don't know if I'd row for hours on end, and that was really my connection. And I didn't know anything, and that was my ignorance to the cause, not necessarily the cause, but just the depth that it is, and actually how our Moose Jaw has been so affected by it, and not really realizing that. And the more the onion kind of peels, and I see the layers that are happening in our community, and it just becomes even more passionate for me to make sure that I'm raising the funds and creating awareness around that for the people of Moose Jaw and the community of Moose Jaw, and how every little bit will help that community. And I just putting the trust in the Journey to Hope that they're doing all that they can do as a board and as a committee to make mental health awareness known in the community, and that there are supports, and hopefully can make change, for people. So it's actually startling. It's not talked about really, it's not very talked about. And when I first started the row, I was shocked by the fact that I had a handful of very close friends who had been affected by suicide, and I had no idea. And that's alarming that it's such a fear to talk about. There shouldn't be fear. There's still, it's an awareness thing, but it's also that stigma behind it. And how do you get past that? And that's the challenge, right? Especially for people. I think the younger generations are doing a much better job of making it known that it's okay to not always feel what society calls normal. And how does that look for you? What is your normal? Because it's not necessarily a bad thing. And it is. I think our younger generations do a lot better job than the older generations do with it. Having those conversations and talking about it and being open that, I don't feel great today, and that's okay. It's the biggest thing with us is just making sure people know, and how do we connect with the generations, and how do we get in front of people to make that impact so that they are aware that Journey to Hope is even relevant within our community. It's such a struggle because I think my first year, I think I had 2 businesses that were on board with even donating. And then last year I had 10 to 15 businesses that jumped right on board. They were challenged and had been recently impacted by it. I think there's a lot of ignorance around the depth that suicide is even reached in our community. And it's not an ignorance that's a bad thing. I think it's just turn away and not necessarily ignore it or never hear about it. But I do definitely think myself, I would say I was ignorant to the fact of how many people have actually been impacted. And when you start to learn, you start to open your heart a little bit more. And even the impact that you're doing with the youth, and the youth chapter and testing students within the schools is so important. And teaching them young that it's okay. I was never taught it was okay to in school, we never had a conversation about being okay to talk to people, or if you don't feel okay, just get up, suck it up, and keep moving on. And maybe that was the realm of the sport world as well that I grew up in. But I definitely know it wasn't okay. The biggest avenue right now to the target would definitely be our youth in our community, because that's going to be the change that needs to happen. So. I think my message of hope is always going to go to the youth. And I think it's just keep doing what you're doing and keep pushing the norms of what society thinks is normal. And don't be scared of change, and don't be scared to talk. I think that's our hope in our community, is definitely the ones that are up and coming, and the impact that the Journey to Hope is doing with those youth is going to change our community in the long run. Well, I had expectations that I wanted to raise $2,000, and I was like, $2,000, that's only, what is it, 100 meters for every $10. So I was going to row 20,000 meters. It would take me 2 hours, I'd be done. And then we ended up raising 5,000, and it was getting, as the money kept coming in, my little friend group there, we were like, what the heck are we going to do? And you can't do it all. So I just decided that I was going to do a good chunk of it, and then we kind of rallied around the fact that, like, with all mental health, you need that support team, and what does that look like? So and that's what happened, is we invited people down to the gym, and we had like a little food buffet. I don't even know. People like came and sat with me and talked, and then at the very end, the last 20,000 meters. 20,000, yeah. The last 20,000 meters, I got off, and then all my friends got on and did the rest of the row. You realize, like, this is how it should be, you know, like, you carry as much as you can, and then when you can't carry anymore, your friends are going to jump in and support you that rest of the way until you're able to jump back on. And that's kind of what we did. So, like, I wasn't by myself. I had my friends that were all there, my parents and some family, and that was really great to, like, it was a really great community event, and that's what you want. And then, but the second year wasn't. It completely changed. Like, people were just donating for the cause and not for the row. There's a couple of things. Okay, so yeah, the first year I think I raised 5,600, I think it was, or something. And then this last year I raised 9,800. There was a couple of things I realized, like, people knew I was going to do it. People were asking if I was going to do it. And then some businesses were more supportive of it after they'd seen it the first year, which was really good. I never expected it to get as big as it has got. So this year is going to be very interesting. The row is going to happen Saturday, September 19th.
Perfect.